Hey guys, although I did mention that I was walking away from the spiritual business, we still will provide knowledge to help move the masses in such ways to grow, to cultivate, and heal. So I want to talk about Greek tragedy. What is tragedy? How can we live with tragedy? What is our innate purpose? And why is it important to witness, experience, and heal through tragedy? Let's tap in. So Aristotle argued that tragedy cleanse the heart. It also get rid of pity and terror. Tragedy is the essence of living at the bottomless pit or making ill decisions that causes irrational behavior. Tragedy is something that one must endure in order to reach an enlightenment. Tragedy is necessary to detoxify the heart, purging us of our pettiness, purging us from terror, from being scared, from being in fear, from being inferior, okay? Tragedy clears us from concerns and worries. Tragedy brings awareness that can bring nobility in suffering. Okay? So Aristotle made a point that we must go through all of these specific characteristics in order to receive enlightenment. This enlightenment is called catharsis. Okay? It's really not an enlightenment, but it's a way of coping with tragedy. What is catharsis? We're going to go in a little bit more. Catharsis is the process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. What am I saying? We are talking about emotions that have not been talked about, emotions that are trauma-based, emotions that are non-forgotten, that you have repressed. You have not forgot about these emotions, but you have suppressed them and repressed them for so long that it has become a part of your characteristic of your DNA to embodying the energy that you are in now. And that's not the real you. When you have repressed and suppressed emotions, that means that you are still living in your trauma. And that is what we're here to do, is to detoxify you from your own mental anguish. How do we cope with our emotions? Is what catharsis is all about. Catharsis is a means of dealing with, healing with. It is a synthetic frequency that helps us to cope with our feelings and emotions. Aristotle's use of the word catharsis is not a technical reference to purgation or purification, but is a spiritual vibe that brings harmony and peace when our nerves are triggered. Catharsis means purification, purging of thoughts, emotions by way of expressing verbally. The desired result is emotional state of renewal, restoration, which brings us to the origins of Greek mythology. Trilogy of the gods' origin stories. What I mean by this, the gods of the Greek mythology all went through some type of tragic Romeo and Juliet, Medusa, Medea, Euphrates, Sophocles, and so many other names, experienced such ill-fated fates that was ended up in tragedy, but there was moral to the stories behind those tragedies that brought some type of purification to their situation. If you guys are into mythology, let me know who's your favorite story. All right. What is your favorite mythology story? I would love to know. Please comment, subscribe, share, and like if you like this knowledge, if you're tapping in. So I want to tap in. Let's tap into the two characteristic traits that makes up tragedy. I've seen this play out in real life situations. I feel like we should, as a people, learn a person's behavior to keep ourselves away from cunning and manipulative people. You know what side of the track you come from, right? That's why we are separated, to not be with certain individuals, because you have two sets of people, two sets of characteristics that they're like oil and vinegar. They don't mix. Okay. But at the same time, you have to learn from the mistakes that we intertwine in, right? So we're going to tap into what is Apollonian and Dionysian characteristic traits. Apollonian characteristic traits are basically organized individuals, people who believe in structure, people who believe in working with their hands, putting things together, using their intuition, using their mind. Not they have a God way of putting things together, right? They're organized. They are how can I put it? Structured. They are they know where they want to go in life. They know that they have to make sacrifices. They know that they can't go to this particular situation or this particular house, or they can't condone in these particular activities because they're not going to be able to accomplish certain things that they need to in life. What the Apollonian is the beauty of making change and becoming change and not interfering with so much of partying and having a good time. And they are hermits, they're loners pretty much. So, and Apollonian is also considered Apollo, which is considered God's personality, if that make any sense. So look that up and you'll see what I mean. So the Apollonian people, you are the characteristics of God, of the God image that has been left in your spiritual body. Okay, your code has been written in Apollonian, if that make any sense, which is connected to Apollo, and Apollo is connected to God's character. Does that make sense? So you have the characteristics to becoming a very God-like person by following specific orders and setting the example for individuals. Dionysian, I can't be able to say my word name. Hold on. My Dionysian people, you guys like to party and bullshit. You guys like to have drinks and like to live free. You guys like to not be serious, and you like to just go through life without making major decisions and choices. And when both of these mixed, Dionysian and Apollonian characteristics mix, it's a tragedy, because one is like oil and vinegar. They don't mix. And if Apollonians don't stay with Apollonians, they're going to have a negative effect by a Dionysian, because they don't believe in the same things and it's like a